What's up, YouTube? DJ here with Tim's Nation, bringing you a Grey Knight perspective on Ark of Omens and some of the news, rumors, and things that we've heard about recently coming up on the internet. I just got finished watching Death or Glory's Meta Monday YouTube live stream. A link to their full video will be in the description below, and wanted to cover some of the things that they talked about and what it could mean for us in Grey Knights in a short video. If you like this one, I also did a video on Necrons and AdMech that'll be up today. And check out some of my other videos. I'm right now doing a lot of work with Necrons. It's been one of my primary armies right now. I've had a lot of fun with them for the whole season. So with that being said, let's jump into what this means for Grey Knights. So first thing first, Armor of Contempt is gone. Well, in one hand, that sucks. That means that for a lot of our units, like the Terminators, Paladins, and Strike Interceptors, that was a nice thing to have. It made Interceptors especially more resilient, more so than things like Paladins. Paladins still having access into Armored Resilience and things like that. Tide of Shadows as well. So didn't hurt them as much. I mean, any defensive buff that we lose is going to be tough. But Dread Knights. Dread Knights have kind of been the staple of this codex, this edition, and it just gives you more of a reason to run Dread Knights if there ever wasn't one. So it hurts in the sense of anybody who wanted to try and play infantry, now you're losing a lot of that on infantry, maybe, but you're gaining a lot on your Dread Knights are still good. Can't really say you're gaining, it's just your Dread Knights are still strong. Flyers don't start on board. I don't know if this is for Army game-wide or just Army-specific. Tom had made a comment about the Tau Flyer starting off-board. So I think that this could be maybe all Flyers have to start off-board. For us, we're not running the Storm Raven. We're not running the Storm Talons. That's not really happening. Maybe in a more casual setting, yes. And that might be a reason to not run them because of less table time. But in the competitive setting, we weren't running these guys anyway. So that's not going to hit us as much there. However, it is something to think about with the Tau Bomber, because now the Tau Bomber that could fly over, sweep, and obliterate a squad of interceptors and leave the table unscathed, well, it's not going to do that. And since it's off board, now it's landing, so it's not doing it on the second turn. So the first turn you're going to get hit with that bomb is third turn. So that's going to significantly help for us in the Tau matchup, considering our short range, and be able to probably take those bombers and maybe take them off the table entirely and put them on the shelf. Too soon to tell. Easier to soup. I don't see us really souping that much. Our stuff is expensive as it is, and we have a lot of good tools already in our tool belt. But with that patrol detachment, maybe slap in some Votann on a small patrol to give us some more long-range fire. Custodies in that. I don't really want to lose my Brotherhood buff. I do think the Brotherhoods really help make the army go, especially Sword Bearers detachment if we're continuing on with Dread Knight heavy lists. So I don't necessarily think that'll be needed as much. We do, again, Dread Knight heavy lists. We have something in that column that's really, really good. And I think the points that we would have to invest into Imperial Knights or Votann could be better put into our army itself to help us score on secondaries. We don't know what much of the changes on the secondaries are. I assume they're going to be similar to what they are now, which is some modifications. And if that's the case, Purifying Ritual is still going to be great. We're going to want to see that used a lot. So going into the Grey Knights as an army and what I'm looking at for builds, and you guys can comment on this. I'm curious on what your thoughts are. I'm thinking with the Ark of Omens detachment, we're looking at Grandmaster at the helm with 3 Dread Knights out of heavies, still having 3 heavies open. And that's going to be basically the core starting point for a lot of armies. I'm definitely curious on what other people are looking at. I plan on playing these guys against Votann on Wednesday, my good buddy Lane. And so I'm going to be bringing my Grey Knights for that. A couple of things one thing that's been heard with all the Marines is that I guess Marines are getting a lot of free upgrades. So this means that from what Brad was saying and how it sounded like it was like war gear options. I'm keeping my fingers crossed and hopeful this means free hammers. I would love nothing else but to drop a 10-man squad of strike with all demon hammers and charge into something for no reason except the fact that I have 10 Grey Knight Strike on a shelf in there with demon hammers because they look cool. So that'd be something really cool to see on the table. Um, Free upgrades. Maybe that means our visions and stuff, those might be free. I doubt it. That's kind of pushing it. But hopeful on the sense of hammers being free, maybe side cannons, silencers, and stuff like that coming across free could really help us in that matchup. If they are free for the Dread Knights, holy heck, then everything I'm saying about Dread Knights being in the army is going to be huge. You're going to see 3 Dread Knights and a Grandmaster in every single list. They're still some of the best units in our codex. With not having to spend as much CP on extra stuff in Warlord Straits, I think the Mortal Wound Libby is going to make a return. I think that's what we're at the time for right now. Interceptors are still great. They're still going to see a lot of play. And Terminators, I don't know really that we have that many free upgrades that are really going to make them that grandiose. Maybe Paladins in a with being able to take the triple elites and taking them as the entire army. Paladins are very tough and very resilient, and they could have a good stand. I just wish they didn't have Honored Knight, so an Apothecary could give them a better feel, no pain. So those are my first takes on this. Again, if you like this video, check out my other two, the one on Necrons and Admech. Look for a battle report with Grey Knights later this week. If you want to check out Death or Glory and the Meta Monday podcast, they did a full wrap-up of this and all their news and thoughts and rumors. And again, give me a like, share, subscribe, and I'll talk to you again soon. Thanks.